Guys, Andrew here from Romanian Online. This is part one pull day. I'm going to demonstrate the rack pull for you. First step here is we want to get up on the bar. We're going to set our pins to just below knee level. And we're going to start with our shins up against the bar. We're going to bend down, hinge ourselves out, and grab the bar right on the outside of our knees. From here, we want to tighten up our upper body. The way we do that is we want to bend the bar around our shins. You're obviously not going to be able to. That bar is a solid piece of metal, but notice what happens to the upper body and my elbows as I tighten that bar. Squeeze that bar around the shins and my upper body tightens. From here, we want to push away from the floor and drive the hips up and squeeze our glutes. So we're here, push the floor up, squeeze the glutes, and back down. A lot of hip action, a lot of leg action, not as much back. The key for this one is really squeezing the glutes. So shins near bar, grabbing the outside of the knees, bending the bar around our shins, tighten that upper back, up against the floor, and squeezing the glutes. We're going to go into the first A1, A2 supersets. The first exercise is the dumbbell row. We're going to position ourselves on a bench for this one. The big key here is we want our hip to be over our knee. The hand on the same side as the hip is going to be placed on the bench, right out front, underneath your shoulder. Your left leg is going to be kind of kicked out as a stability support. The dumbbell is going to be placed in front of your chest, underneath your chest. We're going to let this weight kind of stretch us out without pulling us down. Stretches out, and we're going to pull the dumbbell to the hip. So here to here, squeeze that muscle at the top. Let yourself stretch out without pulling you down, and bring it to the hip every time. All right, guys, this is A2, hammer curls. The big key for this one is to make sure our elbows are tight to our body, almost pin them to your side. The worst thing we can do is kind of flare our elbows out like this. And from here, we're gonna keep our dumbbells nice and straight. We're gonna curl up, squeeze the biceps, and then come all the way down for a full extension. So again, curl up, squeeze the biceps, full extension on the way down. A good tip for this one is when things get heavy and you get tired, a lot of people start to sway back and forth. If you have a wall, you can place your back against the wall to keep you from leaning, and then you perform the same exercise. So here, up, squeeze, and then back down. All right, guys, we're gonna move into the B superset now. Exercise one is dumbbell RDLs. So you're gonna grab 2 dumbbells. The big key for this one is keeping your chest and eyes up and not rounding your back. So we're gonna keep the dumbbells out in front, chest and eyes up. We're gonna push our hips backward as almost like a squat. Hips backwards, down, keeping our legs relatively straight until we can feel that pull in the hamstrings just about below knee level. Keeping our glutes engaged, we're gonna squeeze and come back up. So down to below the knees, up, and squeeze the glutes. All right, guys, we're gonna move into B2, which is side planks. Relatively simple exercise. The big key for this one is keeping your elbow over your shoulder. So we're gonna get ourselves down onto a mat to kind of keep our elbows from getting banged up. There's 3 different positions for your feet that we can do. The hardest one is a stacked foot position, holding yourself up like this. If this is too hard, you can stagger your feet to give you a little more stability. And if this is too difficult, you can always drop to a knee and keep yourself up. The big key for this one is make sure your hips are off the ground at all times and your elbow is over your shoulder. Guys, this is C1, our conditioning circuit for part 1 pull day. Kettlebell high rows. So it's part squat, part shoulder exercise. We're gonna be here, we're gonna drop our hips down, get the kettlebell to touch, and then up. We're gonna keep our elbows nice and high and pull that around. So from the side, keep our glutes engaged, down, touch that kettlebell to the ground, squeeze the butt on the way up, and then into a high pull with elbows up and engaging those shoulders. C2, plank waves. It's a pretty simple exercise, not much to go over. We're gonna get ourselves into a plank position. The big key for this one is to keep our hips low and our core engaged the entire time. So we're gonna get into a plank position on our elbows, butt nice and tight and low. And then we're gonna raise one hand and switch to the other. Plank waves. Alternating between each hand, keeping our butt down and staying in the plank position.